Alright, welcome to the qualifying match. We've been through a lot for the North American bracket. We've had hell and high water try and stop us from having this qualifier go through. But we're finally in the first qualifying match. It's a best of 3 between these two players. Moosegills saying, I hope this goes better than the last time we faced. So I guess some history between the two of these guys. But bottom left corner of the map, spawning red, spawning Terran, it's Kelazhur.
The upper right, as the blue Zerg, it's Moosegills.
Should have saved my rap for this series because Moosegills actually looks like Eminem. So I don't know what happened between these guys the last time they played. Kelazhur showed us a pretty good game versus BioIce just now, although I do kind of feel lots of what BioIce did kind of set himself up to fail. Moosegills is a very talented player. You know, I wouldn't quite rank him up there with, say, his teammate Hendulus quite yet, but he's very damn close.
I don't know him that well to really help, I guess, evaluate the situation.
Thanks.
No problem. Just being honest, man. I could be like, yeah, Moosegills, I saw him like one time and he was okay, like 4 months ago. But, you know, I won't do that.
I hate your honesty sometimes.
You would have been like, oh, what did you think of him when you saw him? And I'd been like, he was like a Zerg player.
He played like a Zerg player. Reminded me of a Zerg
player. Maybe got
player.
some swarm hosts at one point, I think.
I actually did, if you remember. I think you were casting when he fought against Desro back at King Sejong and stuff. I mean, Moosegills is a swarm hosty player given the right opportunity, given the right situations.
Is that Copa?
No.
I was like, I don't remember him playing Copa. I don't remember any other time. Yeah, I didn't think so, but I don't remember any other time casting Desro, to be honest.
Okay, well, it was probably like I think it was like Red Bull or IEM or one of those qualifiers. Man, this is the problem, guys. There is a legit problem with us casting too much. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, but the problem is like we do actually have times where we do struggle referring to games and giving good references because we cast too many. Like when I go through my YouTube channel, or our YouTube channel rather, and we're like, well, let's upload True versus Yanghua, but it's like, oh, that video already exists because there's 7 different iterations of
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, I do know Kelazhur at least a little bit. I was very impressed with his performance in breaking out, as well as our last qualifier. So I think it'd be really cool, honestly, if he just felt good about being in qualifiers for our tournament. I don't think anyone else really has that same feeling, where they're like, "Oh, a Base TV tournament, I'm pretty good at those. It's like my lucky tournament." Maybe that's reaching too far. I'm actually wondering,
did they fight each other in our last qualifier? Maybe that's what he meant.
I didn't think it was Moosegills, just because Moosegills is a very memorable name. But I also had to leave, so I don't know. You go Google that, okay?
I'm not Googling anything. You can't make me.
Oh, alright then. Fine, alright, fine.
So Fenner has 0.7 Partoofs. I want to know how that happened. Fenner
you give away
chat,
0.3?
I guess. I don't know. He wants to put all of his bets on Diego, aka Kelazhur, but he's got 0.7 Partoofs. How does that happen, Fenner?
Oh. Yeah, don't know about that, but Kelazhur, this is 3rd on location.
Yeah, third base early is ballsy as heck. Third base on location is super ballsy. But I guess it doesn't get scouted. I mean, if you put the third base right up here, red flag goes up and Moosegills hits you with an all-in. You're risking Moosegills not scouting you over here, but it's actually, as weird as this, consider like hiding in plain sight.
That is a little silly. That is just a little silly. And you know, Moosegills not getting link speed? Oh man, he's not getting link speed. With link speed, you just might go anywhere on the map because, you know, you're really fast. It's fun, I don't know. But without it, like, he's never gonna go over and check there unless the Overlord does. That's a little funny.
Oh, I thought it was going to, but it stopped.
Like, and you won't start transferring over. Oh, whoa, aliens get in here, roast a couple of drones.
Yeah, you know, there's a wall and 3 queens. This is like borderline inexcusable, Moosegills, please.
Yeah.
I don't know how these slipped him, but they did and got a lot of damage for it. 11 workers killed. Yikes.
Dude, yeah. And you saw that it was a Roach Worm double upgrade. Do you know that like losing those Hellions is not the same as losing them versus Speedlings? Speedlings kill them, they immediately counterattack, you're only just not getting production up, you're kind of screwed. Versus Roaches, it's possible he counterattacks, but you could argue like Hellions wouldn't really help you there anyways. So I definitely like that move. I just can't believe Moosegills allowed it to happen.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that he can't just blindly put down a bunch of siege tanks. Prioritizing that stim pack upgrade, can't lift the barracks. He put a reactor on the factory, so maybe perhaps Widow Mines. Oh, this is an interesting bunker.
Yeah, it's gonna be an awkward wall off.
I don't like the bunker. Yeah, because it ruins the wall. But
God.
maybe he puts another bunker in the wall. Oh,
whoa, whoa. Well, maybe he sees the roaches. He will, just because it's an emergency situation. But...
Hear me out. Hear me out. I know it's crazy, but
he scanned the main. He really wanted to know why it was still on 2 bases and only 2 bases. He did see that, like, he may not have clicked on the roach warren at the front, but seeing 3 buildings at the front of their natural, you got to assume one of them is a roach warren. But it's still, like, not assured. Like, he could be faking you out and actually going for 2 base muta. He could be throwing a nidus worm for all he really knew. Saw that earlier today, so.
Well, Moosegills finally does scout that 3rd, so the roaches coming are not going to be so unjustified. The problem is there's no Bailey nest to go with it. Now that's the part of this I don't like. If it's just going to be this big roach all in, there's a chance, a very mild chance this works, but not likely. So as he waits for the upgrades to complete, we're going to see if he actually saturates this 3rd or not. It's going to be a really big deal on whether he decides to move towards Hydralis and play Roach Hydra for his mid game, or whether he just decides to go for this big roach all in.
I like this 1-1 roach push though. In this circumstance, usually we like see them kind of fizzle out. They try and attack the natural and they don't. But usually it's the case that the 3rd base is only just now lifting up to try and take the 3rd. But with SCVs here, it's at least guaranteed some SCV kills, as opposed to like attacking the natural.
Yeah.
Maybe the
oh, but the Marines aren't in the bunker. Okay, there we go. See, that's no good. Lots of shots being wasted on the command center, quite frankly. Because I mean, that thing's just going to lift it.
Won't be enough. The bunker does go down, but this is enough bio that Moosegills, suddenly this roach attack really... Oh, nope. Reinforcements. Just enough, and now we'll have to go home.
Hey, we're hitting that hour, by the way. You went turn your camera off. Sorry.
I didn't know there was an hour we hit.
No, I'm just saying it's about that time. It always feels like we get a little bit into the cast, and then all of a sudden it's a problem for no reason. Yeah, that FPS like doubled.
There you go. Well... See, that worked out, all right? He killed SCVs that maybe wouldn't have been there otherwise. Kelazhur wasn't so greedy with that 3rd. He gets a lift off, he gets the creep there, and he's going to go into Hydras after this with 2-2.
For Kelazhur, this is going to be frustrating. I'm surprised he's opting to actually just wait to clean this up instead of just going for the northern base. Again, so many benefits to the northern base I feel when you're playing versus Zerg, but to each their own, player preference.
Well, against a Roach Hydra, and I think Kelazhur is going to guessing it's going to be Roach Hydra, you're going to force yourself in a really big concave. Like, both bases have their strengths and weaknesses. This base, it's more of a choke. Tanks will be more effective in defending against it, but then there's 3 options to attack into for the Roach Hydra's player. The other base, huge concave, but only 1 place to cover. It's, you know, give and take, but mass drop. 4 drop medevacs on the way. Hydras are going to be out in time. He's got to be careful.
As he starts pushing up here a little bit, the Marines, the Marauders have definitely got the DPS to fight. The Hydralists, though, I mean, as well, they're kind of like permanently stimmed units when you think about it. Like, they just attack so flippin' fast. A little bit scared to pick up underneath them, but the medevacs are going to get out of this alive. Your spread's not that far spread. They
could try and go to the main, although that'd be a little dangerous. Decide not to.
I think Moosegills had a pretty good idea that was coming, so he segments his Roaches and Hydras off to do precisely that coverage.
Yeah. Too bad Kelazhur doesn't have his other army out on the map. It's currently bulked up with the natural. A little low in the medevac production. That's a big deal, more so than usual. You do want a lot of medevacs versus Roach Hydra, but you know, this, if he was really on top of the multitasking, this drop could have faked going to the main. God, now this army at the natural could have been attacking the 3rd. It could have been a perfect scenario. Obviously was not. Well, now we're at that point where Moosegills is getting on a 2-2. His Hydra upgrades are on the way, and he's going to have a very powerful attack until Kelazhur has his own 2-2. Kelazhur has to be very defensive, tanks in position, don't take unnecessary fights, don't take unnecessary damage, and just survive until your upgrades match his.
Well, the tank's going to help quite a bit. It's not just 1 but 2 of them. As long as he doesn't start fighting away from it, though. Moosegills is being drawn away from, or sorry, Kelazhur is being drawn away from his tanks. Falls back, keeps them both alive. Second tank being alive is a big deal when it comes to dealing this much damage. But once again, overextending a little bit far away from the artillery fire of these tanks.
There was a little bit of disconnection in Moosegills' army. He doesn't come full force, but a lot of the Roaches are dead. A lot of
drops in the main though at the same time. The zombie group tries to defend against us with his production, but it's not quite going to cut it.
Yeah, I think that's it's going to be an equalizer here. As Moosegills is forced to, well, at least back off from the front. He wants to be able to micro his units, and he has to deal with this first. Goes to attack to third now, but Kelazhur had a little bit of time to collect himself. 2-2 is so close to finishing for him. It's gonna be okay. Lost some SCVs right there. That sucks a little bit, but it's probably necessary. Moosegills, not really on the biggest bank. He doesn't have a fourth on the way. His main is actually not mining. He's on the 57 drones. I thought he just pulled the drone somewhere, but I guess they actually just died. That was all he had. Oh, there they go back to mining. I guess they were off to the bottom right, but this drop finally gets cleaned up. Not only is that, that's just a headache really gone for Moosegills.
Sorry about the sloppy camera control, guys. I had to take care of some stuff related to the tournament.
But 2-2 finish for Kelazhur just now. If he can afford it, 3-3 would be awesome. He looks a little light on gas though. This is when his army really just, it really starts beating out Moosegills. Again, Moosegills not in the best economy. He has to be equally careful with each engagement, whereas Kelazhur, he's starting to depend less on tanks too. He's gonna have more of a mobile, back and forth, but still very bulky Marauder army. Oh, scans go down. Kelazhur obviously waiting to see if a fourth is going to be a Moosegills' plan, but seeing no fourth, he knows he's gonna attack. Well, that wall's kind of a cool idea. Goes towards the natural and be able to get a lot of reinforcements.
The wall was a cool idea. It's nothing
yeah, a little useless. Good surround from Moosegills, but Kelazhur, again, like that bio army just starts to do really well, but pretty much a 360 surround, and it still is just not going to be enough for Moosegills.
That's I was surprised that the Marauder heavy force worked so well. I was going to comment on how I thought there might be a little too few Marines, but yeah, despite that 6 surround, despite the Hydras in the army, the 2-2 on the Marauders carries through.
I usually wouldn't agree with you. I myself prefer like more Marauders the better against Roach Hydra, but we have seen a lot more Terran players go for almost no Marauders. I forget who it was specifically, but it's just like, really? But
yeah, I think medevacs actually end up being quite good here out of all the games we cast, but to each their own in the way that they handle it. The tank count is being slowly replenished. It's not like Kelazhur's jumped the gun and started making 3 factories and trying to produce like a mech build behind it. So the Bioforce is good. I mean, for those who don't really see this matchup that often, Roach Hydra doesn't really have a straight up counter. Like, yeah, Marauders are good against Roaches, but even then Roaches can still beat out Marauders. The idea is like you just need more units. Like, it really comes down to just who can macro, who can mass more units, and that tends to be what decides the game.
Usually the hard counter in these situations is like kind of like upgrades. Again, hard counter, quote unquote, but like 2-2, you still have a shot. When they get up to 3 weapons or even 3-3, you don't. That's why we see them get a 4th base. We see them get up to maybe a Greater Spire, but definitely up to Vipers and Fungals. Without that higher tech, Kelazhur's army is just better.
Like literally buckets coming down from the sky right now. This stormy weather is ridiculous. Marauders, I'm sorry guys, I'm really worried about losing power at this point. Marauders are going to take a really nice spread here. The tank's going to add just that little bit of extra fire it needs to the back. Hydras are trying to draw him away from the tank fire. That's actually starting to work out just a little bit, but there might just still be too much out of Kelazhur. With double the army supply, he's looking to be in a fantastic spot.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Reinforcements coming up, but even without the reinforcements, that's enough Marauders to deal with all of the, piecemeal reinforcements from Moosegills.
The drones are coming in. He's going to try and do it, but oh my god, I think Kelazhur is going to, despite the Roaches getting top of the tank, despite the drones getting pulled into the Marauders, with the reinforcements coming, he's surely got this on lockdown. GG, Kelazhur, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take game number 1.